One question on my mind is, does Donald Trump do the weave or does he have the weave? Ooh. The breakdown starts now. What's up, everyone? What's up, Rick? Where are you at? It looks like you're in a speakeasy somewhere.
I am in a fabulous bar. It's the bar at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas. It is full of various surfaces coated with the hides of dead animals, sculptures, mounted animal heads, lots of leather, lots of wood. It is it's one of these top 10 bars because it is a place where it probably seats about 200 people, but it's spread out over this enormous area. It is a terrific bar at the Driscoll. So we are here holding court in the Driscoll Hotel for this show tonight. And if you see people walking behind me, it's because they're going to the elevators behind me, which is fine. If you see people dragging me away, it's because the Trump folks have finally dispatched a Russian Spetsnaz team to snatch me. But one way
it's like, please wrap yourself in bubble wrap. We need a human shield behind Rick, please. We can't lose you.
It's a pretty friendly environment here this week, so we're pretty excited about it. And I'll be doing a live recording of a podcast on Saturday here at the Trib Fest, which is a great public journalism enterprise in the state of Texas. It's not dependent on Sinclair or Fox or corporate sponsors, that manipulate the coverage. So we love the Trib Fest, folks. We're really excited to be here, and we're going to have a good time over the weekend.
All right. Well, let's have a good time right now because
let's do that.
Wow,
we have some good stuff tonight.
Yeah, like it's always Russia until it's actually really Russia.
Russia. You know, this indictment from the DOJ, Maya, really has sent the MAGA world into an incredible frenzy of anger and fear, and their social media meltdown over this has blown me away. It's like, this is Queen Gertrude in Hamlet. We think the lady doth protest too much. This is a pretty dramatic moment, and they are losing their damn minds.
Yeah, well, and because right now in the indictment, all we know is that $10 million was funneled to influencers, and it was done through, they supposedly didn't know who they were getting the money from or who they were receiving it from. It was this, and there was a guy who doesn't even actually exist, maybe an AI generated investor. And so I bet you a lot of these influencers are going, oh, did I take Russian money? Did I take Russian money?
And a lot of them who are pro-Russia anywhere, like, why didn't I get Russian money?
Also that they're like, everybody else is getting Russian money. But this is, again, like, for everybody who hasn't been following this, is the DOJ has brought down this indictment. And I think it's incredibly important to note that this is a year where influencers are making moves and really having an impact. I think
100%.
The content creators at the DNC led to millions upon millions of impressions, millions of what was really free advertising, though I don't know that Kamala Harris's campaign needs that because they've raised, $500 million or so.
Right.
But like, this shows the changing and shifting tactics of Russian propaganda because, going from Facebook ads back in the day and divisive Facebook groups to now seizing these influencers. So I love the meltdown. I love a good MAGA meltdown.
Well, and here's the amazing thing, Maya, that I find the most remarkable comment on the whole thing. These influencers are being paid $400,000 a month. That's $100,000 a week to produce 4 videos. I don't know about you, but I'd take that deal, except not for Russia. But they're being paid Kardashian money to put out pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine, anti-American videos. And these are some of the biggest influencers in the MAGA world. Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Lauren Southern, Dave Rubin. And they claim that they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea the source of the money. Let me say, when you have these guys that are literally reading Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs talking points on the air, and they're doing these live videos, reading Russian talking points about how terrible it is that Ukraine is fighting back in the war. There's one of two things obtains, Maya. Either they absolutely knew, which is my view, what they were doing, or they were so dumb that they couldn't process that this was in fact a Russian intelligence operation. You know, they don't call them witting idiots, you know, generally speaking. But I got to tell you, given the character of their commentary, given the character of their presentations, given what they did online after taking this gigantic whack of Russian money from a set of pass-throughs and hidden funds, it all came from an organization called RT. Folks, it used to be called Russia Today. And the very first line of the indictment quite clearly says, RT is an arm and agency of the Russian government, controlled by the Russian government. These people were taking money, and look, they'll prove it in court whether they knew it or not, but they were taking money from the Russian state propaganda network, and they were echoing the exact words and phrases and terms used by the Russian propaganda network. Call me crazy, but they're either in it for real or they're profoundly stupid. And I don't think that these people are that profoundly stupid. This would take a lot more profound stupidity than even these people can display.
Yeah, and a lot of these talking points are obviously talking points echoed by Trump, which is why Liz Cheney, in her endorsement of Kamala Harris, made a point of saying that Donald Trump is a danger to American democracy, but also to the world at large. And so I think we have a clip of her.
Yeah, we have a clip. Yeah, let's play that because it's really important.
As a conservative, as someone who believes in and cares about the Constitution, I have thought deeply about this. And because of the danger that Donald Trump poses, not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
It's an off-ramp. It's an off-ramp for any actual principled conservative to follow her lead and say, you know what? This isn't us anymore. We're not doing this. She's given the opportunity. And here's the thing, people have a short attention span. We can forgive. We can forgive. If they go now, if they do it now.
Yep. Look, she is telling them the exact truth about this moment. Donald Trump is a danger to our country. And look, I come out of that wing of the Republican Party. I understand how important Liz Cheney's message is. This is telling people, because there are zero people on earth who can assail Liz Cheney's conservative credentials. She is impeccably and completely a conservative in every possible respect. But she's sending the most important message to other conservatives, and that is the fight over ideology and policy will not matter if this country ceases to exist under a second Trump term. It is an incredibly, look, she sacrificed her career to do the right thing on the January 6th committee. She has stood up over and over and over again and made these articulate, smart, strong critiques of Trump from the right. And because of that, I think she has a remarkable moment here that is going to lead us to, I hope, a lot of these Red Dawn conservatives and conservative foreign policy Republicans saying, look, if it's good enough for Liz Cheney, it's good enough for me.
Well, and also it happening against the backdrop of this indictment is, I feel like we're at an inflection point, because right now it's almost the selfish move to go ahead and endorse Kamala Harris, because it's the preservation of the career, because it's pretty clear at this point to everyone who's watching who Donald Trump is. And so I think conservatives who actually do want to have a career, like now it's like clear, oh, Liz Cheney was smarter than us and she's been playing the long game this entire time.
Right. If you're a Republican who thinks, okay, we're going to put a new center-right party together at some point in the future, we're going to do the right thing at some point in the future and try to recapitulate some sort of pro-constitution, rule of law, conservative principles party. Right now, the best bet is to get out from the blast radius of the implosion that is going to be the MAGA party. They are going to have a stain on these people, like, you know, J.D. Vance and others, forever. And that stain is going to be really hard to wash out. as we go forward, because nothing here for the Trump style Republicans is ever going to get easier from this point forward.
Absolutely not. And speaking of implosions, I believe we had a rapid response. Can we roll that real quick?
I took care of our economy like I would take care of my own company.
You know why the Truth Social is going down like an industrial elevator? It's at 17 now, which, as someone said yesterday, well, now Matt Gaetz is interested in the stock, but it's going down so quickly. It's falling apart so quickly that we have this deadline coming up where Trump can start selling his shares. He's going to go in there and dump every penny of it. He wants the cash. He wants the money. He wants to run away. And it's going to collapse this thing. And look, I feel bad for the people that invested in Truth Social, thinking they were going to have something that was going to actually be a viable and valuable stock. It's
You feel
insane.
bad? Are you sure you feel bad?
I don't know about bad. I don't feel super terrible, but it's
I feel like if they had to listen to you and they know that everything Trump touches dies, those
Indeed
folks
it
like
does.
that's just the rule. If everyone just follows that rule, I think they would be okay and moving forward. Yeah, but they're not listening. No one's listening.
They wouldn't be making mistakes.
No, and it's like for everything that Trump is trying to do to revive his campaign, or everything that they're trying to do, whether it's an RFK Jr. endorsement or I don't know what this Walls family endorsement thing was all about. Like,
so weird.
Just out of the blue, and just like it's like, okay. By the way, this is the Walls family. And there were people who were wondering, like, is this AI? Like, what is this? Like, they can't get apostrophes right. Like, there was a lot of questions around this. But this attempt to kind of like smear America's dad, like everyone.
Look, so apparently these people are such distant relatives that you could even marry them in states that aren't like Alabama. These are like third and fourth cousins. These are people that like they share a great grandfather with him or something. And look, as a campaign prank, it flopped. It failed. It was stupid. And it shows you sort of the desperation of these people, that they are willing to try something this dumb in order to like score a single day point on Tim Walz. They're making such a mistake. But then again, they're making a lot of mistakes, Maya. They make more and more mistakes every second, and it's sad that we're not here assessing any sort of policy fight. We're assessing Donald Trump rambling and ranting and insanity, around trying to attack Tim Walz by finding his third and fourth cousins in another state that isn't in play. They're wasting a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, they're deep in Ancestry.com, 23andMe, pulling out. They're like, anybody who's I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. And here's the thing, like, it's football season. Yep. Like, that's to all who celebrate. It's NFL, it's football season. Like, this is a campaign season made for Tim Walz, because he can come out and do his coach thing, and it's like everything they try to sling at this man, it's like they can't. Like, he can both be the coach, pick out donuts, do it in a personable way, roast his opponents, and still come out and the best they've got is that there was a bombshell story. There's a bombshell story about when he was a kid, nobody wanted to sit next to him, and turns out why? Because he got car sick. Apparently, that is.
Here we go. Who knew? So
that's the ops research.
And look, here's the thing. Donald Trump is going and doing these events, and he's absolutely falling apart. He's absolutely flailing. And his speeches are getting more and more incoherent. I heard a great phrase today. It was called sane washing. Trump says something insane, and the media like reframes it as like a normal person saying it, and it's truly one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a campaign. But he doesn't have much longer, and I think we're in a situation right now where the clock is almost running out on him changing the dialogue before the debate that hits us on the 10th.
Yeah, and I think that's actually very that's a good point, like the sane washing, because this is what the media has been doing. And it's almost like, well, he's poison, so we don't need to tell you that poison is bad. So we're going to hold poison to this standard. And all of a sudden poison becomes normalized, where Kamala Harris is held to this insane standard that no one could absolutely meet. And so I think it's really important for us to contextualize what that is and what that looks like, because when we're looking towards this debate, we have to ask ourselves, like, what does Kamala Harris need to do to ensure that she comes out on top and continues to come out on top? And for me, the answer is simple. Like, she just needs to be herself.
Yeah. Just be yourself.
Like,
just keep rolling forward. That's exactly right.
Authentic
self.
Yeah, because anybody who's ever had an argument with anyone who's ever had an argument with a malignant narcissist knows that you can't debate them point by point, which is
they're not interested in that.
Nope. And she's got his number.
So
she's got his number.
Well, guys, I am having some technical stuff on this end. I'm gonna stick with you for one other minute. Let's roll that last video. Do we have that Trump video? Do we have the video from today?
I don't think we have the video from Trump today, but you know what we do have, and I would like to watch, it's the clip of it's the ad we have that shows Kamala Harris's national security bona fides.
Let's do that real quick, and then I'm gonna sign off because it's getting kind of flunky on this end.
America's national security, a president's first job, to protect our nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic. In a dangerous world, Kamala Harris has sworn to do just that. Her commitment is clear.
I will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals, because in the enduring struggle between democracy and tyranny, I know where I stand, and I know where the United States belongs. I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world.
And to uphold America's solemn promise to honor our veterans.
And I will fulfill our sacred obligation to care for our troops and their families, and I will always honor and never disparage their service and their sacrifice.
Kamala Harris for president, for a stronger, safer America.
Is this leadership? Yes. And I think that's what's so important about this moment, is that we constantly hold up the two options. We have Americans looking at a Donald Trump who is in constant all caps meltdowns on Truth Social. And then we have Kamala Harris, who is steadfastly moving towards an America that we all need, an America where we all feel valued. And so that is why I feel incredibly optimistic, because we do remember the chaos that represents Donald Trump. And now we know a lot of the reason why. With this DOJ indictment, we're going to hear about this chaos and division that they've been sowing, that they've been targeting communities, attempting to pit people against each other, as they did in 2016 and again in 2020. So it's incredibly important right now to take this moment, to take a beat. We've got about 60 days or so to go, and early voting opens even sooner than that. And so it's really important right now to take stock of this moment, take a deep breath and say, we have a viable and capable option in Kamala Harris, and we see these endorsements rolling in. And now we just have to do what we all do, which is make sure that we get out there and vote and talk to our friends and family members about voting, because that is the right. Their voting right is the most important one because it protects all the other rights, and we have to exercise it. We have to exercise that power. And so I am feeling optimistic, and it's also because I've been eating a lot of cupcakes. I'm not going to lie, I've been fueled by cupcakes. So Rick had to jump, but I just want to say good night to everybody, and we will see you next week. We've got the debate that we're going to be talking about, and so I'm incredibly excited about that. So make sure to like, subscribe, share this with friends and family so they can follow along with this journey. We try to keep it fun, we keep it light. Follow me at my on stage, Rick Wilson at the Rick Wilson. And I'm going to leave you with the insanity of last week at the Republican Party. And I'll see you next week.
The war on Christmas is back. The ones you get in trouble with are the reposts, because you find down deep they're into some group that you're not supposed to be reposting.
That's just bullshit.
I don't believe their narrative about the January 6th pipe bomber for a second.
Whenever I do them, past like 3 o'clock, they criticize you the next day. Trump was up. True thing. He is weird. Huh? He's weird. I'm not weird. He's weird. What a beautiful young daughter. What a beautiful young daughter. JD and I are weird. That guy is so straight. JD is so...
It's a scorcher out there. Holy shit. Good to see y'all. You're all sweating, I can see. Yeah, seriously.
Great guy. And he's not weird, and I'm not weird.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm not going to try to take off my shirt here.
I do the weave. You know what the weave is? I'll talk about like 9 different things, and they all come back brilliantly together.
We're going to see a decline in autism.
Purify the country.
And friends of mine that are like English professors, they say, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. It's not rambling. When you have, what you do is you get off a subject to mention another little tidbit, then you get back onto the subject.
Semper Fi, guys. We got some, it sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay.
And you go through this and you do it for 2 hours.
I'm just amazed because, what are we going to give these migrants free foot massages? They trek through the Darien Gap.
She can go to hell.
I shouldn't talk about this, but that's okay. I don't give a damn because this is what I'm doing.